Good afternoon. Today is the 17th of May and I've just taken my mother to a routine medical appointment in her car. She can't actually drive it at the moment, but I thought I might take the opportunity because it's almost 4 years since she picked this car up to do a little sort of report on it. I think I've probably done most of the miles on this, to be honest, particularly over the last month or so, because we had the issue with the Tivoli, and I did actually use this for 3 relatively long filming trips. It's a 2017 Mercedes-Benz C200 Sport estate. Seems to be a lot of Mercedes in this car park today for some reason. It's a 2-litre engine which develops about 181 horsepower. It's a petrol. Of course, we don't talk about diesels on this channel, so when my mother wanted to change her forbidden fuel BMW in 2017, she picked up one of these. List price of the car at the time, I think, as it's specified, was about £35,000. I think we paid £27,000 for it. It's actually not depreciated that much. One of the reasons of that is because she's hardly used the car. It's only done 16,000 miles. So if I just open up the boot here, there's an electric boot on this car. It's actually not particularly spacious. My Seat Toledo that I had, and that I bought within about 2 weeks of my mother getting this car, had 550 litres of boot space. This is about, I think it's 450. I forget now exactly. There is a full episode of 2 Jacket Reviews on this car that we recorded about a year ago. It's not done very well on the channel for some reason. I don't really know why, but I'll link to that in the description below. There isn't a spare wheel under here. As some of you will know, back in March I had a puncture and had to use a tyre inflation kit, which was a nightmare. I'm not sure even where the can of sealant is, so we had to call it a breakdown service, which I didn't really know what it had to do if it had a spare tyre. But there we go. I'll show you actually which one it was. It was this one here, which we're going to have to get matched to the other side, because apparently when that tyre was taken off it was only on 3mm, and the MOT is being done next week, so we'll just get that done at the local tyre place. Non-slip mat from my mother's old 1989 Volvo 240. We've still got it in this car. Shut the boot. There we go. So yes, on this car they are 225 50 R17. Wheels do look quite nice. This being the sport trim means that it rides fairly comfortably. There's the AMG line above this as well, but having actually driven one of those, I don't think it's as comfortable as this at all. In fact, I know it isn't. Massive fuel flap, although it really doesn't do anything special. It just does that. It's really nothing that special. Not actually opening or anything. So we get it in the back. One of the main problems with this car, although we've got things like, you know, electrically folding rear seats and things like that, what we don't have is a lot of space. In fact, the glove box isn't actually big enough for the manual, which is why it's sort of sitting down here. What we do have though is a little pair of vents that Matt Watson from Carwell says look like a robot face. So you can see where he's coming from, Matt, really. The manual normally sits in here, but then if you actually want to sit in the back, and with this panoramic roof, which is beautiful, it just means there's not much headroom and there's not much legroom. And I'm only 5'11", so it's a bit of a problem. Although my mother and I do share one thing, and that is a passion for beige leather, or in this case Artico leather interiors. She wanted a car with light coloured sort of leatherette, and that's exactly what she got. I do like it myself, as you can understand. Of course, we have a proper armrest in here as well, with some proper storage space and individual cup holders. Isn't that nice? Even little springy bits on them. Excellent. It's all very lovely. Keyless entry, of course, in this car, and a start-stop button. along with Mercedes insistent on, you know, not really having a normal gear lever. It sort of sits over here in the automatic models. So there are manual models of these available, I think only in the saloons, and the gear lever would be about there, I think. There's a huge compartment here with all sorts of random stuff, and 2 USB ports as well that I used on long filming trips quite a lot recently. One thing, there we go. So I didn't want to get the sort of cable to stay there. Big centre console. When you can close this, but my mother's got all kinds of sort of funny things in here, so she doesn't tend to do that. Door panel here. It's one of the only cars I know where you actually get electric seat controls on the door panel, which is brilliant, and along with 3-stage heated seats, of course, and memory positions, sensible position as well for the electric mirror and window switches, although I do find this door handle to be a little bit low down on the door. I wish it was about there. At night you do get mood lighting that sort of lights this area up. I can't really show you because it's a very bright sunny day, so I won't be able to do that, but there we go. I'll switch the car on. You see the steering wheel actually moved slightly, which is nice. Got automatic headlamps and automatic wipers in this car. I'm going to have to silence that, I know. There we go. I love Bell and Sebastian, but I don't like copyright infringement, which is a bane of my life. You can see the car's only done about 16,000 miles. You can see here as well, it says the range is about 455. I recently did fill this up. The eco display, which you can chart the success or otherwise of your driving efforts. The car's actually in eco mode at the moment, using this dynamic mode selector. One really annoying thing is, if you come back to the car after overnight and you've left it in eco mode, it doesn't actually go into eco mode immediately. You have to change it. It will normally default into comfort mode, which is that one. We've also got Sport and Sport Plus and individual modes in this car. Well, I normally drive in eco because I like to eke out the fuel economy as much as I can. One of the things you can see on here is it's now confirming on the car what the settings are for it, and we can see here, using this scroll wheel down here, which is familiar to many Mercedes-Benz owners, about something like dynamic selection, and we can have a look in here and twiddle around with things. Now, the steering mode, if I just move it around here, you can see it says it's in sport, which it is. You really don't want to drive this car in comfort mode. It's a right pain in the backside. Also, I have the climate control in eco as well. You don't really need that on anything else, to be honest. The stop start is on because that's the way I personally like it. A lot of you I know don't, but that's just the way that it goes in terms of what I prefer. We've got a little display here which shows what the average fuel economy's been like, and we can see there's actually a virtual owner's manual on here, and you can fiddle around with various things. One thing I don't like is down here you can see absolutely all of these switches all are on the same plane, and they all kind of feel the same, apart from the menu one possibly in the middle, but we're already there, so you know. There we go. You can kind of see what's going on with the air conditioning and things without having to look at the screen too much, but this will just confirm what it is that you've got it on. One thing, these buttons down here for navigation, radio, media and things like that, they feel extremely cheap, and there goes Ben Sebastian again. It's another sunny day, that's quite right. So yes, telephone button and then car, then the hazard warning is really small, and again in this sort of line of buttons it doesn't feel like it's prominent enough for somebody like me. I don't know why, but there we go, maybe I'm just strange. One thing you can't do, and you will see on the steering wheel control, this is a pre-facelift car, and so the steering wheel controls are actual sort of proper buttons. And the post facelift cars, and I have driven one, I actually a quick review of one on the channel, they're not as nice as this inside, and they seem to have been cheapened out. And I don't like that, viewers. I don't like that at all. Just turn the car off, so don't need the engine running at all at the moment. Got 3 vents in the middle, and you can kind of twiddle those around and configure them to have you want, really. Most Mercedes models of this era do look like this inside. There's the glove box, and you can't actually fit the car's manual in there, which it looks like you should be able to, but you can't. It's a real pain. And you've got this sort of funny mousing. Now, you're supposed to be able to draw kind of sat-nav directions and things in here, but I've never used that. And also, there are no buttons for changing the track on the steering wheel at all. And trying to go back, you can go forward using the funny mouse thing, and you can go back in the menus, but in terms of going back a track, you have to use the swivel wheel here. You do get used to it, and you know, the car's been you know, in a family now for 4 years, so I am used to it, and I can use the sat nav and stuff like that. But yes, it's not a bad system as they were back in 2017, but there are obviously things on this now that don't actually make any sense anymore, because you know, roads change over the course of 4 years and things. As you can see, we're sort of towards the south of Winchester at the moment. Up here is the controls for sort of the SOS system. The car's actually going in for a recall quite soon because of something to do with some wiring, and also this needs to be changed. So it will go in for one of those. There's also the control for the panoramic sunroof and blind and things here. You do get used to stuff. There's a lot of things on this car. One of the things that you'll notice with any of the reviews that have been done of this car, it's actually appeared not just on this channel, but it's also appeared on the Furious Driving channel, and also on Dan's Cars in the Country, when you know, we did his Vectra and his Samuel Rex and W. So I don't know if that's a fair exchange or not, but there we go. Right, let's have a look under the bonnet. One of the really annoying things about this car is how easy it is to get leaves and crud and other stuff in here. I should have cleaned this out a while ago, but the car's been sitting for quite a long time when my mother's not been using it, so yeah, it's time to sort of get rid of some of this stuff. There's a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine with a turbo, develops about 181 horsepower. There's so many plastic covers on here that most of the stuff is actually exposed. Sorry, this was not exposed, so you can't really see a lot going on. One weird thing is that the top of this always seems to leak slightly. I don't know if it's the oil leaking, I don't think it is, or if it's something else, but yeah, the battery is somewhere else entirely. It's not here, it's somewhere else, but these are the terminals for it, so if you want to jump the car or things like that, you can actually do that from here. One of the things I don't like about this car is how much it costs to service. I mean, it's got all kinds of nice fancy bits on it. We've got front parking sensors, it's got a camera on the back and all kinds of things, and full collision warning and a load of things to make your motorway driving easier. But your motorway driving is very expensive, because although the car will do up to about 47-48 miles per gallon on the motorway, and I know because I've done it, which is very good for a 2-litre turbo petrol of this sort of size, it just is very expensive to run if you go to the Mercedes-Benz dealership for your servicing. The third year of service and MOT on this car cost £780, and I had to pay £20 for a courtesy car. Absolutely outrageous. Of course, now the warranty expired and my mother's finance agreement on this car has come to an end, we were able to book it into an independent specialist which is in the local area, and they're only going to charge me £350 for 4-year service and MOT, and I get a courtesy car for free, which is obviously better. If you want to see how the car drives, then you can watch Dan's review from Dan's Cars in the Country. You can watch Mr. Richardson's review from Furious Driving, or the Tweed Jacket Reviews episode. I'll put those all into the video description below. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this ownership report of a very low mileage Mercedes. Please don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on. That does really help in terms of us ranking higher on YouTube and stuff like that. And we'll have more ownership reports probably coming up in the next 6 weeks or so. So thank you once again.